Hey there, Deluxe fans. Hope you're feeling exceptionally magical today. By any chance, did you happen to notice the particular foreshadowing provided by Meis Outfit throughout Pixar's Turning Red? Well, if you didn't, be prepared to have your mind blown because it would turn out that Meis Outfit actually gave us a spoiler for what ended up happening at the end of the movie. Pixar's Turning Red was the first full-length Pixar film to be directed by Domee Shi. Not only that, but it was also the first Pixar film to be solo directed by a woman. The movie follows the main character, Mei-Lin Lee, better known as Mei, as she discovers the type of person that she wants to become. The movie tells a coming-of-age story about Mei as she begins to go through puberty, but is even more shocked to discover that she can transform into a giant red panda whenever her emotions begin to spike. The initial shock from this discovery is almost too much for Mei to take, and she understandably began to freak out before slowly learning to control her emotions. Throughout the majority of the movie, even as she learns to control the red panda's ability, Mei feels as if she has to hide it from her family. Mei's mother and the other women in her ancestral line were also given this gift, but many of them saw it more as a curse. Instead of embracing the red panda, they all ended up fearing it and eventually getting rid of the spirit during a blood moon ritual. As the movie progresses more and more, Mei would learn to live alongside the red panda spirit, and gradually she found herself attached to it. She began to accept that the spirit was a part of her and that she might as well embrace the newfound power. And given the opportunity not once, but twice at the end of the film, Mei chose to hang on to her spirit instead of imprisoning it into a pendant as her mother did. Meanwhile, the rest of Mei's female relatives all chose to rid themselves of the spirits again, after they were forced to summon them once again to save Ming. Mei decided to keep the red panda spirit as a part of her, showing a massive amount of growth in her character from the beginning of the movie. At first, she was afraid to do anything that she thought even might upset her mother, but by the end of the movie, she realized that she needed to be her own woman and learn to live her own life. Now, did you happen to notice the most dominant color in Mei's outfits that she wore throughout the film? In almost every scene, Mei was wearing clothes that were typically a mixture of red and pink shades, and we believe that this was a huge hint for how the movie was going to end with Mei embracing and holding onto the red panda spirit that she was bound to. Clearly, the red colors that she wore in her ensemble were intended to represent her connection to the red panda personality, and the connection was a strong one, considering how much of her outfit was shades of red. She wore a red cardigan along with red leggings, and to top it all off, the beanie that she wore during certain portions of the movie was also red. It's clear from the title of the movie that the color red was going to be playing a major role, and everyone who has seen Turning Red has noticed how symbolic the color was throughout the entirety of the film. Not only is it the primary color of the red panda that the movie was centered around, but it's also the dominant color in the Canadian flag. The most obvious use for the color red was as a less than subtle metaphor for menstruation, which is a topic that Turning Red had dealt with multiple times. Along with being a symbol for the changes going on in Mei's life as she begins to experience puberty, the fact that Mei wore a lot of red was also meant to symbolize the fact that she was going to keep the red panda spirit from the very beginning, whether she realized it or not. I'm not sure if you noticed this, but Mei's outfit choice almost directly clashed with that of the rest of her family. While Mei wore red, appearing to embrace the change that is going on in her life, her mother, grandmother, and aunts wore the opposite. Ming, Wu, and Mei's aunts all rejected the red panda, and they grew up living in almost constant fear of the spirits. This is likely why all of those characters were seen wearing various shades of green and teal throughout Turning Red. This was their way of distancing themselves from the red pandas even further, something that all of the women advised Mei to do as well. And this has a profound impact on Mei, who loves her family and wants to keep them all happy and proud. So, while she was embracing the panda spirit by wearing mostly red, you can also notice a single green hair clip that is likely meant to symbolize the impact that her family had on the way she felt. More specifically, it's believed that the clip represents the influence that Ming has over her daughter, considering the fact that Ming is shown to be very overbearing and protective of Mei. Ming unwittingly brainwashed Mei into becoming a daughter who strove for the best grades and was loyal to her family above all else. So it would make sense that Ming would be thrown off by all of the red in her daughter's outfit, considering how she felt about the color. So she added her own little touch by recommending a green clip. This might have even been to prepare Mei for the jade object that she was going to be expected to trap her red panda spirit in following the blood moon ritual. Now, something that fans might not have noticed on their first time streaming Turning Red was something that we found really interesting. Unlike Unlike most animated films where a character's clothing will stay the same throughout the entire movie, Mei's outfit seems to change throughout the movie and almost progresses in accordance with her actions, as well as her character development. Even though the green clip in her hair remains there constantly, the subtle clothing changes showed us how much her personality was changing as she became her own person. One of the most notable additions to Mei's outfit is the choker that she began wearing in the film. When Mei put on the choker, it made her outfit match the outfits of other people in her age group at school, including her closest friend Miriam. Miriam was played by Ava Morse, and she's shown throughout the film to be dressed as a young skater kid. She's seen wearing a green flannel and green beanie, and she was often carrying around her skateboard. Now, I don't know about you, but when I was younger, everyone in my friend group dressed similarly. We all had the same taste in clothing and accessories at the time, so this is something that's typical of people in Mei and Miriam's age group. Certain outfits or accessories become trendy, so Mei began wearing a choker. But what was really interesting about the choker is how Mei, at first, won't wear it around her mother. This showed that she was still afraid of Ming finding out about her youthful rebellious side, and was afraid that her mother would judge her poorly for it. However, as the movie progressed towards the end, Mei became more and more rebellious and could actually be seen wearing the choker around Ming, as she got in trouble for attacking Tyler at his birthday party and caught lying. Much like the choker that she kept hidden from her mother, Mei did her best to conceal the fact that she would often transform into the red panda, even though deep down, she knew she couldn't hide it forever. It was really interesting to see Mei remove the green clip from her hair right before the blood moon ritual, in order to remove the panda spirit. During the time that she was expected to separate herself from the red panda, it almost appeared like she chose to separate herself from her family instead, or at least their ideas about the spirit they're all connected to. Not only did she remove the green clip, but she replaced it with flowers that were as red as the panda spirit that she had bonded with. And it should be noted that these flowers were the same ones that she could be seen wearing in her childhood photos. The choice to remove the green clip and embrace the red flower was Mei's way of showing us that she was going to embrace who she truly was, instead of who she was expected to be, even as she continued to discover the type of person she was going to be, and discovered new sides of herself. She would accept the changes for what they are. This included the red panda, something that was clearly a part of her and who she would become in life. This lines up with an answer given by Domee Shi, the director of Turning Red. While doing an interview with Vanity Fair, Domee Shi went into a bit of detail as to why Mei Lee decided to keep her red panda spirit at the end of the film. She explains how she wanted Mei to depict the fact that this newer generation of people has learned to embrace their flaws rather than hide them away or try to get rid of them. She mentioned a scene where Mei asks her aunties why they wouldn't keep their pandas, and that the response from Mei's family was essentially that they were more comfortable without them. Domee Shi said, "I was thinking about this scene in my head, like how I would talk to my own aunts." And then she mentions that they'd be like, "We respect you are doing this, but we have our own thing. We're comfortable like this. This is our choice." And at the end of the day, that's what it was all about. Turning Red was made to teach children that their choice doesn't always have to line up with that of their parents or their ancestors. As long as you stay true to yourself, you will have something to be proud of. The director also pointed out that she wasn't casting judgment on the generation before Mei's or Mei's generation. She just felt that it was important to make it clear that every woman has the right to choose to embrace or get rid of their pandas. It's important that Mei is the first in her family to fully embrace the ability that she was given. It helped the film shed light on certain generational differences, as well as showing that women should be able to choose the way they want to live, even if it differs from those around them. There should be no judgment. So, at the end of the day, Mei's decision to wear red clothing was Pixar's way of showing us that she knew the type of person she was all along, even if that person didn't line up with her mother's high expectations and impossible standards. She chose to stray away from the path that her mom expected her to stay on, and instead of casting away the red panda spirit, she chose to embrace it. Instead of learning to fear the spirit and turning into a teal-wearing mama's girl like all of the other women in her family before her, Mei chose to embrace this new part of her life and coexist with it. Mei's strong proclamation of "My panda, my choice, mom," showed us that even though she had made up with her mother, she still intended to walk her own path. Mei knows that she was always going to be the messy, loud, and weird person, and panda, that her outfit always made her out to be. That being said, she did make amends with her mother and would continue to work at the temple and keep it in good shape with her mother. But now she would be able to add her own twist to the work and even use the red panda as an attraction to bring in more people. The ending of the film was a great way to wrap up the movie and showed us that Mei was planning on staying true to herself. And even though that differed from Ming's way of living, her mother learned to accept it nonetheless. At the end of the day, they discovered that they could still have a very happy family without needing to be clones of the past. Turning Red is one of Pixar's biggest hits over the past few years, and fans have loved how open it was about the difference between certain generations. Symbolism played a massive part in the movie, and one of the biggest symbols in the film was the colors of the characters' clothing and accessories. What was your favorite part of Mei's outfit? Be sure to let us know in the comments below. As for now, that's all Disney fans. Let us know what video you'd like to see next in the comments, and like and subscribe for more magically packed videos.